Great to see you guys again. So today we're gonna go over how to work with our LOX and our current processes at Loan Factory. Okay, we're gonna start with the system navigation first. Let me share my screen. Okay, everyone can see my screen now. Thank you, Joe. Keep in mind that this is a testing crowd, so some of the information will be a little bit different compared to our actual site. This can be a training ground for you guys as well. So I'm gonna give you the login to the site after this call. All right, we're gonna start with your profile setting first. So everyone here should have had a meeting with our HR department already to go through your profile setting. So I'm not cover this part anymore, but I will focus on your setting for the website and pricing engine and other settings that have not been covered by the HR department yet. So let's start with the with your website setting. Okay, so you should have been assigned a link for yourself right here. And if you want to have a custom domain, you can purchase that from godata.com and add the custom domain to your system. So for example, if I want to add 𝐅𝐅𝐈𝐂𝐃.com, I can copy that. I can type down the domain and then copy the record to godata.com. If you need help with this, you can reach out to our IT department at it@loanfactory.com. Okay. For review, you have the option to show your personal review on Zillow, Yelp, or Google. You need to make sure that you have a personal profile on those websites. Otherwise, you can set up to show the common review on Google or Zillow. If you have an introduction video, you can add that here. That can be a video from YouTube. We have different templates for you to select for your website. You can choose them in the web page design and pick a design that you want to apply for your website. You can also edit content to show on your website here in web page content, edit. So the edit that can be made including the content, you can add or remove a section on this website. For example, if I want to remove this one, this is for the lowest rate guarantee offer in Colorado and Texas. So if you want to remove this, you can click on the section and delete it, just like that. Okay, and you too want to preview how the website look like after you edit, you can click on this. Okay. Sorry guys, look like we having a bug with this. Alrighty. Okay. Sorry guys. I will ask IT team to take a look on this. All right. For header and footer, you can edit the header and footer show on your website as well. You can edit or delete the section that you don't want to show up on your website. And for the bio, we encourage every loan officer to have your own bio. This bio would appear on your website. So this can be an introduction to your consumer to tell them who you are and what you can offer to them. For the custom script and metadata, if you want to add custom script from the other website, you can again reach out to the IT department for instruction to add those scripts. The next thing is the quote setting. So you have the option to show which lender to decide which lender to show on your quote engine. If you don't have any on this list, so the system will show every lender that we have on our quote engine. For example, this loan officer want to show Home Point Financial, they're no longer available. Okay, say like we want to show Rocket Pro TPO, Rocket Pro Correspondent, and PennyMac. Okay, so when the client run a quote on your website, they would only see the offer from those lender. Now click on the lender name. Sorry, click on this customize. Now these are the state that this loan officer have the license in. And you have the option to use the max conversation allow for the state, which is 1.5, or if you can customize it. Okay. Sorry, guys, that this is the testing site, so the information will be a little bit different compared to our actual site. For a Texas, okay, you can use the maximum conversation allow or customize it if you want to lower your conversation. And the next thing is if you want to require the consumer contacts when they run a quote, you can click yes. Otherwise, they can just go ahead and get the price information right after they fill out the quote form. And if you select yes, so that will be a lead created when the consumer leave the information on our website. And you can decide to notify the broker or not, notify by email or by text message. And this is going to be the disclaimer will show on your quote screen. You can enter the default value for your quote form in here if you want to. And you also have the option to display those items on your quote screen. Like if you want to show the lender name or not, or allowing the consumer to create alert button on your website or not. Okay.
Hey, Harry, can I ask a question?
Sure thing.
So where it says display closing costs, is it possible to display closing costs only to our internal site and then externally facing have that hidden?
Sure thing. Then you can click no for that.
So when I do that, like when I log in myself, I can't see the closing costs either. So it seems like it has to be for both.
Can you show me that in an email?
Yep, I'll show you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. It's not supposed to be that way. Yeah. All right. And you will also have the option to display the loan program in your setting. So these are the program available on our system, and you can choose to display them or not. Let me show you the quote engine so you can have a better visualization of what I'm talking about. So you can see on top up here, we have the feature option, right? And if the buyers want to see 30-year fix only, they can click on that. Now, you can decide to go back to the setting, okay? So you can decide to which program to be displayed and which program to be included in the feature tab, okay? For example, if I select 30-year fix, 25, 20, 15 years, all of them will be displayed, but only 30-year fix will be featured if I don't select the other option. Okay. For the credit report setting, you guys should have received an email from HR department for your soft pull and hard pull login. For a soft pull, and this is the setting for the hard pull, okay? It should be in Meridian Link Credit Report tab. You can click on this one to enter the credit ID as well as the password. Keep in mind that the login ending in 01 would be your hard pull. And in order to, you need to make sure that you have logged into Advanced Credit to complete the required paperwork as well as enter the credit card payment so that when you have an actual application comes in, you won't have to stop her to, complete those tasks. Oftentimes, we see loan officer didn't complete that prior to, have an actual application. So we have some time to get it settled. So make sure you do it up front, okay? And just in case you need to change the password for some reason, you need to log into my profile, go to this section to update the password as well. Because this password will auto-populate when you're trying to pull the credit, right? So you need to make sure it's correct. You can have multiple login at the same time. You can have one with Advanced Credit and another one with the other's credit vendor. But right now at Loan Factory, we only working with Advanced Credit. You can have the option to allow the borrower to pull and pay for their own credit report. You can also allow your processor to use the credential to pull the credit report. I recommend you to turn this on because allowing them to pull the credit report would so they would help you to pull the credit report just in case you don't have the assets of the system. But the password would not be visible to them. And this one for a subpool. Okay, the subpool ID should be the one ending in 02. The password will be included in the email from HR as well. So you have the option to do the subpool from Chance Union, Experience, or Equifax, or just one of them. Okay, we recommend you to do Experience to save the money. Otherwise, you can do a tri-merge, so you can have full information from our three credit bureaus. All right, that's it for the profile setting. Any question so far about this? Okay, so the next thing I want to show you guys is our pipelines or our LOX. So we divide our process into three major pipeline, which are leads, prospects, and loans. So this is where you manage your lead. Okay, you can add a lead by clicking on this button and add one by one manually. Okay, you just need to fill out the information required by the system. Or if you have multiple leads that need to be imported, you can click on action, click on import mutable lead. Okay, you can download the CSV file because you need to include them in a CSV file. You can download the template and enter the information in that worksheet, and then upload it to your system. Once done, you can click import to import those leads to your pipeline. You would have an option to send a text message to the bars as well, but keep in mind that the text message will be sent out from the company phone number. Okay, this is the date the lead were created, and this is the date it will last updated. This is for the borrower's name, and this is the application ID automatically generated by the system. Referral language. Okay, Lauren Mal, call and text. So right now we don't assign residential extension to loan officer, but this is for the if you do have one. So this is more for the associate, for our internal staff. So this will be a tracking system between the conversation between the processor and the consumer. This section for the lead source. If you do disclose the source of the lead you got, preferred method of communication, the status. So we have different status of the lead. This is new. You can change that to contacted, conversation, interested. You can leave a note as well. And priority. This is the other ways for you to categorize your pipeline. So you can decide to, so let's say you classify as highest, right? So when you start working on a pipeline, you can start from the highest priority first and then work on the lower one currently. You know, this will be helpful for those who has huge pipeline, 100 of loan, and you need to work on the loan smart. So this is the option that we can offer. Now, for the note, so this is the way we can track what's going on with the application. So if you look at the note on the file, you can tell what was going on, what was the update. You as an officer will need to leave a note as well whenever you work on the application. If you have an important note that you need to see later on, you can ping the note. You can see the ping note right here. Okay. You can input a note by, for example, we caught this borrower's. Okay, you can save it. Or you can also, if you want to send an email to maybe your LO8 or to the borrower as well. Okay, you can send an email to the consumer by using this note feature. So your conversation can be recorded. Keep in mind that you need to copy yourself as well in the email so that when the client replies to all, you will get a copy of that email. Otherwise, because this email being sent out from the R system, not your email. So if you don't copy yourself, there will be a high chance that you would not get the borrower response if they happen to reply to it. You can change the title for the email as well. This is default title when you send out an email from the system. Okay, the rate tracking. So you can set a rate alert for the consumer for the scenario. You can click on this one, enter the pricing parameters. Let's do 500K property value, 20% down. Okay, good FICO score. Lender paid. So we have the option for lender paid and borrower paid. So if we do in lender paid, keep in mind that in California we have 1.5%, and for the other state that would be 2.5%. Property type, primary home, conventional loan. Okay, now we have everything we need. You can go ahead and get a quote. Sorry guys, it's taking longer than normal. You know what? Let's use this tab instead, so we don't have to wait. Okay, so this is what you should see after running a quote, right? So I'm showing you so you fix option. So this is the rate, and this is the APR, and this is the lender name offering this rate. You can see more lender by clicking on this arrow. Okay, this is the lender point or credit. So we're doing lender paycom, and the pricing included the compensation already. One thing different from our system compared to the other pricing engine is that even if you do a borrower paycom, the pricing, the discount point, or the credit that you see already included already have the compensation baked in. Okay, this is the payment for the loan, and you can see the closing cost right here. I'm sorry, I cannot remember who asked this one, but when you don't select to show the closing cost button, the consumer should not have the option to see the closing costs on the end when they run a quote on your website. So if you click on this one, you should see the information on the estimate cost, right? The cost formation was generated with reference from 𝐅𝐅𝐷, our title and escrow partner. And rate tracking, you can click on this one to set up a rate alert for your client. You can choose send them an email when the target hit, or you can send an email daily or weekly. You can set a target for them here. Right now the point is 31,000. If you set a target to be 0 and the email frequency to be target hit, then the system would only send an email when the point come down to 0. You can send an email, text message, or both. Here you can disclose the contact information, the email. If there's someone now that needs to receive this email, you can disclose the email here as well, and the phone number. Okay, once done, you can click on rate tracking. Okay, now we'll go back to the lead pipeline. So the alert that I just created, that was a standalone alert. So the consumer, that is not linked to this application. Okay, so if I want to link to the application, let me do that again.
Harry, I have a question.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Go ahead.
On this rate tracking, I've noticed that I can't really pick out a rate that I want. It just gives me a drop down with 3 options, and they're all either at today's rate that is being quoted or maybe a 1/4% higher. I can never go lower. How do I do that?
You've probably seen the feature options. Can you try it again and see and click on 30-year fixed tab
Got it.
to see all the option available? Yeah,
Got it. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. That worked. Thank you.
no problem.
Awesome.
Thanks, Eric.
You bet.
Now go back to this pipeline. I'm sorry, guys. I was about to show you how to create a rate alert as well as a lead at the same time. So you should see an option that option should be listed at the bottom, but the system is delaying. Sorry for that. Okay, now go back to the pipeline management. So we expect a loan officer to work on your pipeline daily. So, but if you happen to have an application, the bar is not so active, you can set a follow update on that. So let's say this client you already talked today, and you will probably follow with them back in 2 or 3 days. Then you can click on this action, click on need to follow up, and select the follow update. And the reason why we follow up or detail or the conversation we had before, so you can catch up with that when you had the next conversation with the borrowers. Okay, you can select to send an email to you or text, then submit. Okay, we expect every loan, every transaction in the system should have a follow flag. So make sure to update the follow flags so the LOA can tell what is the expectation on that application. If they don't see a follow flag on that, they would reach out to you to create it, or they can help you create, or you can ask them to help you create a follow flag if needed. Okay. Anyone has any questions so far? Let's look at the chat to see if anyone has a question. Okay, we have one from Sam. For pre-qualification, you need only experience. For pre-qualification letter in our system, we don't really need the credit report. I will show you how to create a pre-qualification letter when we get to the prospect pipeline. And how do you show closing fee to consumer? Oh, I just show you how to do that on a quote engine. So if you want to have to choose lay that option to consumer when they're on a quote on your website, then you can select to show that in the code setting that I just showed you. Right here. Okay. Again, anyone else have a question on this? On the lead pipeline? All right. Let's move on to prospects. Okay. So the prospect pipeline should have similar view to the lead, but it's going to have some advanced feature. So now, if you click on the borrower's name, you're going to see, okay, this is a loan action. This is the to-do list and the note. I'm going to circle back to this later on for a to-do. Click on the short application for the 1003. So to those new officers that just recently joined the industry, so 1003, I sometimes say 1003, that stands for the mortgage application. Click on this one to see the prospect information. This is the place you would go to if you need to send out the pre-approval letter as well. This is for the front end DTI, and this is for the back end DTI. Right now, the system not allowing me to send out a pre-approval letter because the DTI being over 50%. This is where we manage the document. We have some subfolder, and if you want to access this folder on Drive, you can click on this link to access the Drive folder. And you can go to this section to generate the document. There's a lot of document that can be generated from the system. The authorization form, credit explanation letter. For example, if I want to generate this, edit and generate, we have two versions, one for broker and another one for lender. Okay, and generate. Once generated, you can find a document in generated document tab right here. Now to the AUS. So you can run both DU and LP with just one click with our system. You don't need a login with DU or LP to run this. You just need to re-enter the information if needed for the account number and the password for your credit account. Oftentimes that should be auto-populate for you. Okay. Want the information to fill out, you can just go ahead and run it one-click AUS. Keep in mind that we can only run the AUS, we can only run DU if we have a hard pull credit on file. With LPA, you would not need it. Okay. The next one for estimated closing costs. So this is a place you can go to generate your LE. Yes, Eric?
Harry, just going back on that credit pool, you mentioned if we run in LP, we don't need to do a hard pull. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. The last time I was able to run LP without a credit report.
Without a credit report at all?
Yes, let me double check on that actually,
Okay.
because that was I was able to do with our credit reports last time. But I will circle back to you on that, Eric.
Okay. Thank you.
But TE would definitely require a hard pull report.
Correct. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Mhm. Now, the estimate closing cost. So the system should automatically generate the fee from the assurance title for you. But if you want to change that, you can edit, you can click on the fee to edit the amount or the fee name. Once done, you can go ahead and generate the LE form. Now, the information on the LE would miss in the discount point or the credit, if any. So you're gonna need to enter the percentage for discount point or dollar amount for lender credit. We're still working on improving this feature, so you can expect to have the prepaid and initial actual payment as closing when we finalize this feature. Right now, you need to manually input the information if you want to show that the LD. Okay. Once done, you can go to download directly, or you can access the file in document generated document folder. And this is the LD. Right. Now go back to the prospect pipeline. Similar to leads pipeline, you have the option to add the prospect. You can manually input a new application with this option, or input a new pre-qualified letter with this one. You can also upload a Fannie Mae file or an XML file if you can export that from your prior LOX. Or you can invite the borrower to fill out the application themselves by sending them an email. When they get the email, they can just click on Start Application and fill out the application themselves. Okay, we have the option to enter the pre-qualified letter. So with this one, we only require limited information. We just need, let me bypass this. Okay, we just need the borrower's contact information, the base loan amount, loan type, loan program, okay? And then you can go ahead and issue the pre-qualified letter. Okay, here we go. The pre-qualification letter would have a different template compared to the other type of loan application. It just looks like this, okay? Okay, now let's break down the components on this prospect pipeline. Here we have the loan amount, and this is the application. This is the pre-qualification application that I just created. We also have pre-approval, okay? So if you have a pre-approval application, please make sure that you select pre-approval instead of purchase and enter TBD into the address bar. This is how soon the consumer wants the pre-approval letter. And this is the loan type. We will also have the status and priority on this pipeline. For to-do, you can use this one to request documentation from the borrowers. Some of the items will be auto-generated when the client completes the tenor tree. So if the client is salaried, they are employed, then the system would ask for the W-2, pay stub. Otherwise, if they are self-employed, that will be a to-do for tax return generated. You can also customize it by clicking on the to-do name and update as needed. For the to-do that has been, provided by the client, you will see the file uploaded here. The files, when uploaded, will show up in the document tab. For those that has been cleared by the client, you can clear that to-do from the list. We would also have a to-do list for loan officer. You can input your own reminder here. And another tab for closing agent. So we would have a portal for closing agent to upload the required documentation for the loan here. Okay, this is the progress bar for the application. We would also have note feature on prospect pipeline as well. And the DTI. So if we have sufficient information, the system would calculate the DTI for you and show it here. Rate tracking. The same to lead pipeline. For action, you can clone this application. Let's say the borrowers want to purchase multiple applications at the same time. So you don't want to have them fill out multiple application. You can just clone the application that they completed. Convert to loan. So let's say the borrowers got a contract accepted, the offer accepted, they got a contract, then you can convert the application to loan to have the processing team work on it. If this application will convert from lead, you can connect the lead with this application by clicking on this option. You can also change the prospect type. So right now, this is a pre-qualification. You can change it to pre-approval, purchase, re-intern, refinance, anything you want to. Export to Mixamo 3.4. So you can export the application to 3.4 file and register it on the lender portal. Import from Mixamo 3.4. You can click on this one and upload the 3.4 file to replace the existing data. Or if you want to keep existing data and just use the information from the upload file only. So you can select that option. Okay. You can also invite the borrower to complete the allocation for you. Email participants, you can use this feature to email the owner of the application, including borrowers, your LOAs, the processor, if any, conversation history. So you can see emails or text message from the processor who using RingCentral in this one right here. This is the email we send to the client from the system. And server desk. So server desk is a resource we offer to loan officer. So you can request help from our underwriting team if you need assistance on structuring your loan. You can add a ticket in escalation desk. For category, select pre-approval underwriting request if that is for a pre-approval. Or you can also select underwriting request if you have a general question. The ticket owner should be Brian Lay, who is our in-house underwriter. We also have Logan, who is our non-QM specialist. He will be helping you with recommendation on pricing and products for non-QM loan. You should leave a detailed description on how we should assist you with your request. The more detailed your request is, the better. Priority. So our turn time currently for a ticket is 1 business day. So basically, the underwriting team should get back to you with the result for your loan within a day. If you have an urgent request, you can select a higher priority so we can work on that application sooner. Okay. You can also log in as a borrower to, I'm not sure why we still have this option. That should be removed already. Similar to leads pipeline, you will also have the option to update, add, or remove a photo flag on your transaction. Okay, you can create knowledge base. So this is something like for you to ask a reference for the company, like a study case. Create an incident. So I noticed some loan officer using this feature to create a ticket to request something. Please keep in mind that this is only for management team to create an incident if something happened on the file and we need to, we need a reference to go over with the team later on to make sure that we don't make that mistake again, basically. All right. Again, any questions so far on prospect pipeline? It is a form or disclosure for those who has an active real estate license. Yeah, we do. We have that. So let's see. Go to document, generate document. We actually, I'm not sure if we have that within the system, but I do recall that we was working on it a couple of days back. That's called the dual disclosure. I'm sorry, Sheree, I don't have this form available in within Generate tab. You can reach out to our licensing team for this form because I do think that we have different form for different state. Yeah. You may send an email to licensing@learnfactory.com, including the state that you're doing business in, so they can send the correct form to you. Okay. I also want to show you how to pull the credit report from your system. So click on the short application, go to liability, and pull the credit report. For this application, keep in mind that when the clients submit the application, we don't ask for the full social security number. So we only ask for the last 4 digits of the SSN. So when you're trying to pull the credit, you need to have this number available. We have this stopper to prevent the completion of 6 pieces of information so that we would have to issue the LE within 3 days. So when you get this information, when you're trying to put a credit, you need to have that and fill out this one. So, okay. So you need to select the vendor. That should be Advantage Credit. For the credit ID, that should be auto-populate for you. Okay. All right. So that's how you do it. Now for pre-approval, you can go to prospect information, click on qualification. Again, this one was the DTI was over 50%. So you need to structure the application so that the DTI below 50% before you can generate this letter. Let me increase the income. I'm just trying to bypass the system to show you how to generate the letter. Of course, when you work on the actual application, you need to verify the client income, the depth, run an income analysis before you enter that information to the system. Okay. And now it's still pre-approval letter. You can click on this one to see the pre-approval letter from our system. This is how it looks like. Okay. You can also include the message to the client. Normally, the loan officer would send something like a reminder to not open new credit card, don't buy new car, or open new debt, stuff like that, to the client. Okay. Once done, you can save an email. And besides sending out the pre-approval letter from our system, you can also get the lender to preview your application and issue something called verify approval, or we can also say TBD approval. So right now we have Rocket can offer this, and some other lenders offering this as well. So if you need help from the processing team to submit the application and a document to the lender for review, you can go to ServerJazz, add a ticket for Emmy. The category should be TBD approval. The ticket owner on the actual system would be Emily. Leave her a description, okay, on how she should submit that application for you. You need to make sure that the application is complete, that was the hard pull available on file, and we have sufficient documentation to submit the packet to the lender for underwriting. Okay. Let's take a look at the question. When the LE is generated, will it be by processing first to review when we don't have a lender selected? Yeah. So when the system, generated LE, then that would not automatically get sent to the client. So you have the option to review first before sending it out to your client. If you want to give loan approval, the actual is TBD. So you can consider the option that I just told you about for the verify approval. With Rocket, some other lender I know that they can offer that as well, including Cardinal, some other lender. Okay, now go back to the pipeline management. So before we go to the loan pipeline, I want to show you how to convert a complete prospect that is ready to send to loan processing team to work on. Now, if you have a contract and the fee sheet, then you can go ahead and convert this loan. Click on action, convert to loan. You need to enter the address. The other information should have, we should have the other information available on the application already. For the lender, you need to select a channel. So right now, correspondent, we only doing mini correspondent with Rocket Bro. Other than that, you can do wholesale. Okay, you can do Rocket, enter the loan number. At this phase, we should not have the loan number. That will be entered by the processing team once they get your application registered on the lender portal. Enter the loan story. Make sure we have a detailed loan story so that the team can tell, what's going on with the application. This should include the information that is not available in the demo tree, like additional information about the borrower's employment, some background story on the application. For the owner, you need to, your LOA, your assigned LOA should be auto-populated. If you're not seeing your assigned LOA populate in this one, let her know. You should let HR know at hr@loanfactory.com and they can get an update for you. Okay, next thing. So at Loan Factory, we have something called assembly line processing. So basically, we're gonna divide the process in 3 smaller pieces. We have submission, we'll be in charge of registering your loan and submit the package for underwriting. Once we have the initial approval, that will be a condition processor to work on condition of your loan. Once we have clear to close status, there will be a closing processor assigned to your loan to work with the CD balancing and prepare the docs for a client to review before they get to a closing table. We're going to talk more about the scope of work of each loan officer, of each processor later on when we get to the loan processing part. Now, for assembly line, we're going to have 2 options, one for East Coast and another one for West Coast. So depending on your working hour, you can select West or East. It's up to you. Okay. When you select an assembly line, that should be a submission processor populate for you. Just keep it as is, okay? You should notify the transaction owner so the person can tell that we just have an application converted. Compensation. So you need to select how you would like to compensate on this one. We can do lender paid or borrower paid. So if you select lender paid, we would just follow our current rule for lender paid comp to slow you on that loan. Again, lender paid comp for California is 1.5, and for our state, that'll be 2.5%. You can do borrower paid comp if you want to charge the borrowers lower than that. But make sure you select the borrower paid compensation percentage. Important dates. So this one is for contingency dates, if any. I'm aware that in some state we don't have the concept of contingency, or this is not require some time. So if that's the case, then you can enter the contract acceptance date in this section. So we can tell that we don't have the contingency. This is for the COE, closing of escrow, and contract acceptance date. All right. Okay, that should be it. Once done, you can go ahead and convert this prospect to loan. Again, I want to emphasize that before you convert an application to loan, you need to make sure that you have the contract loaded to the folder, as well as the fee sheet from the escrow, the estimated closing disclosure. If you wanted to estimate the fee, then you can include that in the loan story. Okay, so we will estimate the fee for you. But keep in mind that for correspondent channel, we do not recommend you to estimate the fee, because wholesale lender like Rocket, they would not charge the tolerance fee. We would not have to eat up the cost if the final cost happened to be higher than initially disclosed. But for Rocket Pro correspondent, they would charge us the tolerance because we are being the lender on that loan. Okay, so which is why we do not allow the loan officer to estimate the fee when we plan to send out the loan to Rocket correspondent. Now, let's move on to the loan pipeline. So in loan pipeline, majority of the tasks will be taken care of by the loan processor. The most two critical tasks to the loan officer would be to explain the documentation to your client and lock the rate. So I'm going to show you how to lock the rate for your loan. So this would consist of two steps. The first step would be for you to log into lender portal and execute the lock. Okay. So it depends on which lender you're working with. You can reach out to the account executive for instruction on how to lock the rate on the system. Once you lock the rate on the system on the end, you can go back to Loan Factory, click on the start of the loan. And this is the start of the loan, right? So click on that. Okay. To start showing that this one has not been submitted. So we don't see the lock option here. When you lock the rate, you don't have to do this task, okay? Because at that time, these should be done by the processor already. Lock rate. Before you can confirm the lock status, we need to confirm if we have the appraisal waiver on the loan or not. And confirm if we obtain the credit card to order the appraisal or not as well. Because we expect that the appraisal will need to be ordered by the time we lock the rate. Now you can go ahead and confirm the lock status. Here you need to disclose the lock rate, lender point of credit, the lock expiration, empower or not, then update. When you update the loan status, there will be an email sent out to your client with a subject of lock confirmation. And the information you have here will be disclosed on that email. If you don't want that email to be sent to your client, you can turn on this one and there won't be any email to the client when we change the status of the loan. I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Now, like, how did in the application, how did you get the loan rates in order to generate that LE?
Right. You can run a quote on the application. There's two options you can go for that one. You can go to the quote. You can still see my screen, right?
Yes, I
You
can
can
see
go
your
to the
screen.
quote.
I did run the quote.
Or run
I
a
just
quote.
have-
Yeah, go ahead. You did run a quote, and then you should be able to see what the rates for your client.
Yes,
So that should be a lender point or lender credit associated with that rate. So you can enter that point or credit to the LE.
so I manually enter that in the LE.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have to manually import that to the LE at this point.
Sure. Thank you.
We're working on that improvement actually. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Harry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
You could. Okay. This has more to do with just the lenders that are in the quote engine. I think we've had this or I think we've had a little bit of correspondence about this. How, because I've reached out and gotten logins for quite a few lenders, and I just can't keep track of all of them. And so I didn't know if how we could possibly go, where we could go to find like where their rates are, depending on if they're a non-QM or, there's a lot more that we have available as conventional too. And I know that these are some of the best, but I know like Fairway is a pretty good one, actually. I've priced it separately on its own site, and it actually comes in sometimes better than what's available on the quote engine. So I was just wondering where we're supposed to go for that. Is there a place to, because like I said, it's pretty it takes a lot of time to go through and look at all the different rates every day for everyone. So is there a one-stop
I
shop?
understand your question, Lisa. So right now we, just to be frank with you guys, that we are onboarding a lot of loan officers currently. So we actually have a limited capacity to work on that one. So I have already talked to Truong about it, but just let us know if you have a lender that you find the pricing attractive. The problem is that we don't show all of the lender pricing because not all of them have attractive pricing all the time, So we just want to focus on the top lenders. So if you happen to find any lenders that have the top pricing, but they are not on the pricing engine yet, and they already approved Loan Factory, let us know, okay? So we can get to the AE and parse the rates on our code engine.
Okay, that would be great. I will just like to say, I think Fairway might be a good one to add because I've priced them a couple different times and they've came in like very competitively. So where would I go to suggest that get added to the quote engine.
Yeah, totally agree. So you might notice every time a loan officer adds, an LO add-on to add a lender to pricing engine, he add someone like Logan or me to go in and review the pricing to make sure that the pricing, that lender offering good pricing, and it makes sense to add them to our quote engine.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
So first stop is to go to Tuan.
Yeah, go return first.
Okay, all right, thanks. And is there anything I need to also do when I go? I'm assuming show them comparison of like that, like if their daily rate compared to what's showing on the quote engine. That way it shows.
Yeah,
that,
that
like,
would be great. Yeah, we would
okay.
appreciate it. Mhm.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Thanks, Lisa. Yeah. Hi, Kieran.
Harry, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
So Harry, if I want to edit the website about the section wherein it's about, where can I do it? I went under personal information and my page, but I don't see anywhere that I can edit the page.
Oh, if you want to prevent this, please reach out to IT team for a solution, okay? Because some domain, would be classified as not secure. So we need to obtain a certificate for that.
Okay, so to reach out to IT, how would I do that? Just like, is there an email for them?
I'm sorry, I'm just advising on about, is that what you're asking for? What about?
Yes, but on the previous comment, you said reach out to the IT, that is the IT of Loan Factory, right?
Yeah.
How would I reach them? What's the best way to reach them?
Send them an email would be best.
Sure. Which email? What email should I use?
Send it to it@loanfactory.com.
Got it.
You want to edit this page, you say?
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so edit this page is not available in my profile setting at this point. So yeah, I would take a note. So what kind of edit you want to make on this page?
I just have a couple of paragraphs to add. So should I email that to IT as well?
Please do. Yeah. Send that to IT as well.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Amir.
Yeah.
Go
Hi,
ahead.
Harry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, in quote settings on my website, I go to this, let me see, loan program display settings, where you have the 30-year, 25-year, 20-year, 15-year. I displayed like 30-year and removed the 25-year and removed the 10-year, let's say, removed the 3/6 arm, but I still see it on my website, even after I remove it and save it.
I see. Let me try it again on the Stetson site.
Okay.
Okay. And submit it. Okay. Let's work on the testing side. So it can be the case that you have a bug on your side, Amir. So can you please take a capture of that and send it to IT as well?
I will do so. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Amir. Hi, Sam. How can I help you?
Yes, hi, Harry. Just I have two questions. You mentioned that we have in the non-QMs like Logan and AD Mortgage. Okay, for investors, like for a small DSCRs, can we do it on your quote system or no for units and below?
Right now, I'm sorry that our non-QM processing engine is not available yet. So you can talk to the account executive directly, or you can go to the website for a quote.
Okay, that's it. Okay, all right. That was my main question. There is another question I have actually. Is that if in my website I want to remove where it shows the fees, when that quote that they have, they say that 1%. If you don't want to show that, because I've seen some people on their website, they don't have that. Can I do that? And how?
So which part of the quote engine you referring to?
For example, when somebody enters your website, there is an example we put and says broker fee 1%. Correct? You don't want to show that. Can you remove it?
I do believe that we would not show it on the loan officer website, but let me confirm. I will use Kieran's website to test this out
Okay.
just to make sure.
Sure.
Because you will set it up on your quote setting. So you preset the compensation you want to earn on the loan. The borrower would not see that option. Only on Loan Factory website, the main page.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't show that on the loan officer website. Okay.
Doesn't show. Okay. Okay.
All right. Anything else can help you with, Sam?
Not for the now. I will send you an email. Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Hey, Josh.
Hi there. With Provident Funding in particular, on the broker side, I know that whenever I had my own business, my broker comp or lender comp had to be the same. I could not change it. So with Provident in particular, is it always 2.5, even if we go borrower paid, or do you guys, or with Loan Factory, do we have the ability to actually lower that comp from 2.5 to, like, say 1.5 or 1?
Front funding, the compensation is set at 1% in most states, except for Colorado and Texas. For Colorado and Texas, the lender paid comp with front funding is 0.5%.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm in Colorado. I would, if I do not want, can I eliminate Provident from being shown on my website then when I set it up? Because I do not want to only do 50 basis point loans in Colorado or advertise that.
Yeah, you do have that option. Yes.
Okay. That's definitely what I'll do. So all their states, they're 1% then, you said?
With Provident
Okay.
funding.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hi, CSC. Yeah, right now the closing card, we're taking down the closing card feature on the actual website. So you decided to show that it would not show at this point yet. I'm sorry for that. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Harry, just a little word for all the new loan officers out there. When you get all set up and you get your own website made, I highly recommend, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on my screen, probably too blurry, but right where my thumb is, that's a shortcut you can put on your home screen of your own website for Loan Factory. So when I go into open houses and someone asks me, hey, what's your rate? I said, oh, well, come step aside. Let's do this together. And you can actually forward that to your fellow realtors and other borrowers as well. So it's a fantastic tool once you get set up. And send me an email. I've got a video on it if you're a little confused how to set something up on your home screen, but I highly recommend that tool for everyone.
Appreciate it, Rob.
Yep.
So yeah, Rob is sending out an email to all officers how to set it up, and it is amazing. You can get a quick access to the system on your phone with just one click. Again, thank you, Rob.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit on the process on loan. So we have been talking about the prospect pipeline. So what happened after you convert an application to loan? So basically, the first thing when you convert an application to loans is gonna be to set a package sent out to your client. One of that would be from Loan Factory website. Okay, you can tell your borrower upfront that there will be a package to respect. Another one would come from the lender that we register the loan with. Okay, so after the submission process, submit the loan, the borrowers need to acknowledge the initial package before we can submit the full package for underwriting. After the submission is completed, the loan officer can go ahead and lock the rate on the lender portal. You need to make sure that after locking the rate on the lender portal, you come back to Loan Factory website and confirm that the loan has been locked. Okay, I will show after this diagrams how to confirm the lock status on our pipeline. Okay, keep in mind that the loan officer is responsible for locking the rate, and I have received some email or escalations about how having the submission process lock in the rate. If you want our team to help you lock the rate, of course we can help you do that, but please make a specific note for that. That hi team, after registering this loan, please help me lock in the rate for 6.5 with the pricing of something. Okay, leave a specific note for that, because I understand that as some other brokers, you have this practice in place where you lock right when you submit the loan. But it's not the case for as some other places, including loan factory. Okay, so if you want to log the rate, let a team know. Maybe include the loan story or give them a heads up in the Google chat. Okay, so and at the time you can order the appraisal as well after the loan is registered and the intended proceed is signed by the client. After we submit a full package on the lender portal, if the loan is well structured, we should receive initial approval from the lender. Otherwise, the lender might put your loan in suspension and reach out to you for clarification on how you structure the loan. Okay, so after we get in the initial approval, the condition processor will start working on your loans and help you with condition on the lender portal. Again, if you need help from them on contacting the client and get the docs, you can let them know. Otherwise, you can remain as the main point of contact for your clients. And then after all the conditions are cleared, we're going to have closing processors to work on your loans. Like I said, the closing processor would cooperate with the escrow company to schedule a closing date, as well as prepare the final package for the borrower's review prior to the closing date. And the loan officer at this point will need to reach out to clients and explain the final figures to your borrowers to make sure that there won't be any surprise to them at the closing table. And after that, a couple of days after closing, we should have the loan funded. The lender release the money to the title company. The closing processor will collect the compliance document from the lender as well as the escrow company and save them to the folder. From this point, when we get the check from the escrow company, you can go ahead and request the commission check for your loan. Now, go back to our portal. I will show you guys how to confirm the lock status on your loan. Sorry guys, it's taking longer than normal. I'm really sorry guys, not sure why it's taking that long. Okay, so normally you can you click on status and there will be a drop list on the right corner, which is rate lock to let you lock the rate. Let me check these boxes. You normally don't have to check those boxes. This should be done by your processor. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, guys, for those steps. So normally that would be for the processor to work on it. So as soon as you want to lock the rate, you should be able to see this option available. Now, before you click on lock the rate, you need to make sure that we have an appraisal waiver on this file or not. Okay. We have this stopper because in the past, when we work on a lot of refinance transactions, we don't order the appraisal as soon as we register the loan. So what happened at that time was that a lot of files we forgot to order the appraisal. So that is why we have this requirement to make sure that at the time we lock the rate, we have the borrower information to order the appraisal. Okay, once all of this is done, you can click on lock rate and complete the lock information. And please keep in mind that for correspondent loans, you will need to confirm the expected margin on the loan. Because I'm aware that some loan officer, initially they want to maybe charge the borrowers maybe 1.5, and later on when they capture the good pricing and they might want to make better money on the application, they would, lock for a different rate with a higher margin. If that's the case, then you need to confirm the expected margin that you lock on that loan. Okay. After filling out the information, you can confirm what is You can send out this confirmation. Okay. Keep in mind that once you confirm the lock information, the system will send out an email to your client confirming the term of the rate lock. And if you don't want to send that out to your client, please change this before you confirm the lock. Okay. And again, this is just to confirm the lock information. It doesn't help you to lock the rates on the lender portal. If you want to lock the rate, the first thing you need to do is to lock it on the lender portal. If you're not sure how to lock the rate, or need to get more information in general from the lender, you can talk to the account executive. On our system, we have a list of the lender we're currently working with, including the contact of the representative. You can go to the user, lenders. So this should have all the lenders approved at Loan Factory. You can click on the contacts for the contact information of the representative. Okay, the next stuff I want to show you guys is the marketing resources. So you can download some templates from our system in this marketing tab. Marketing material. Okay, you can generate and download them from here. You can generate your business card from here as well. You can click on it to generate it. I'm aware that if you want to send the business card, a printing business, to bring it out, you're gonna need 2 images. So you can cut down this image, or you can reach out to our marketing team for 2 separate images. The email for the team is marketing@loanfactory.com. Okay. There's others template that you can generate, including the template for the realtor and co-branding image, so you can generate for the realtor as well. If you want to have a custom design, you can reach out to our marketing team at marketing@loanfactory.com. Please keep in mind that all of the marketing posts will need our approval before posting on social media to make sure that all of this advertising are compliant. You can send an email to Marketing Loan Factory for approval before you update any ad, okay, or any post on social media. Okay, I guess that should be it for today. And right now, if anyone have any question for the topic I just covered, please let me know. Hi, Kieran.
Harry, can you go to the reviews tab and hit on generate?
Yes.
Right there.
The review tab. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you hit on generate, do you see the drop down list of, okay, in the loan officer? So wherein we select, can we select our name there?
I'm sorry.
So where it says please choose a loan officer, right? When I click on that drop down, it doesn't pull up.
The loan officer will be, so you can select the loan officer from this one, this drop list.
Okay.
Yeah. And
then,
if you want to add a picture, you can add it here as well.
yes, can you just generate it? I want to ask you how to remove, like there is a.
Yeah, after generated, it would automatically download to my computer. Let me show you.
So yeah, on the bottom it says song, all that. So how can we get rid of that, or will it come by default?
It's there by default. So you want to remove them, or that's what you're looking for?
Yeah, because I don't know what that is, right? I mean, it's somebody else's name and the date.
Oh, that is the ID of the person left the review for us.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Kieran?
No, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Just want to make sure. Thank you. Hi, Amir.
Hi, Harry. I have a question on the pricing engine, lender paid MI and borrower paid MI. When I pick lender paid MI, I have a lower number than when it's borrower paid MI. It should be reverse. Would you be able to check that?
Okay. Before I check on that one, can you confirm what do you have for the borrower pay comp?
I have I'm checking it for a property value of $1 million with a loan amount 950,000. So that's 95% down. And so when I pick lender paid, it's telling me, for example, that I have an interest rate of 6.999, and it says payment P plus I is 6,320, and the APR is 6.969. When I pick borrower paid for that same thing, it gives me, let me just tell you, I'm just doing it.
Okay. What is the zip code?
It gives me 6.999, and then the APR jumps to 7.27. And then the P plus I plus MI, of course, includes the 317, which is the
Yeah.
MI. So
can you, I'm sorry, Amir, can you confirm the zip code so I can take a look?
yeah, sure. 95112.
95112. Okay. And the FICO score you said is 699?
No, the FICO score is 760 to 779.
760. Okay. So let's do lender pay first, okay?
And
Is
I'm
this a single
talking
family
about
residence?
mortgage insurance, not just not lender paid as commission, compensation. The mortgage insurance up there.
I see. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like that.
Okay. Yeah. So keep in mind that if you do a borrow paid MI on our system, we will give us an estimate quote on the monthly MI. But if you want an accurate quote, then you should get to the lender for an accurate, because there's more factors would affect the monthly MI that is not captured in our system, including the DTI. So the best practice if you want to get an accurate MI is to run a quote on a lender portal.
Okay. But you know, it's not just the matter of MI, is the actual so what quote did you get for this? You got, oh, because your compensation mine is set at 1.5, so maybe yours is not, that's why it's a bit of difference. But try for the 30 years. Right now you have an interest rate APR of 6.8. Mine shows on my thing I have both interest rate and the APR. Yours doesn't have that.
Yeah, and you have
Oh yeah,
interest
there
rate
it is.
APR.
Yeah. So you see here, borrower paid is giving you that APR, right? 7.175. Now check lender paid. It went lower, the APR.
I see what you're saying. Got you. Okay, thank you for the feedback. I will take a note of this and talk to our team.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Amir, for letting me know.
Okay.
All right. So for those asking for a recording of this call, as well as the material I just went over, including the presentation and other stuff, Benjamin will send out a recap of this meeting and include those items. Thank you a lot, you guys, for your time today. I appreciate it that you came on this call with me. And again, if you have any question, please reach out to the assigned LOA. You guys should have received correspondence from them already. If not, you can let me know. My email address is harry@loanfactory.com. Okay. You can also give me a call in case your LOA is not available. My phone number is 714-243-8365. I just typed down my email address and phone number in the chat box. Thank you guys so much for your time again, and have a great day. Thank you. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, Sam. Thanks, everyone.